Let's get Sam in here. Sam?
Hey Tariq, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm half Arab, half white American.
Hmm.
My mom's side, they're settlers, so they're like from the WASPs, old white people. You know, these kind of people, they don't like the racism to be in front of your face.
Right.
Like it's kind of unspoken. It's like an unspoken rule. You feel it, but they would not tell you. They wouldn't say like a slang or anything towards you. What do you think the reaction of the people with like the families and the white people who like this, that don't like the over the top racism or the racism like with slangs? What do you think the reaction with what's happening now with the Mexicans, the white supremacist Mexicans, the white supremacist Sudanese like Myron? What do you think the reaction to this kind of racism? I don't think they like it because I've never seen them say these things publicly, but you feel it by the way that they act. But they like to show like a decent face.
Mm. Well, it depends because a lot of the white supremacists, they like melanated races. They like people who are melanated to do the anti-black racism for them so that they can defer to them and say, hey, look, I didn't call those black people lazy. Myron Gaines did. I didn't call those black people low IQ. Enrique Terrio did. So they'll a lot of times they'll point to the melanated non-whites who are on code with them against us as a shield for themselves. And you do have some white people who don't like talking about racism overtly, but it's practiced systematically. See, this is what we have to understand, family, how racism works. A lot of us think racism is some mean white supremacist yelling the N-word at us. And that's not the extent of white supremacy. White supremacy comes in different variations. That's why you have a lot of white supremacists who say, hey, I'm not mean to anybody. I love everybody. I'm nice to everybody. I just want to get along. I got a black buddy at work. You see? And a lot of them are not um mean spirited. They don't sit here yelling the N-word. In fact, they are very hospitable to black people. A lot of them are extremely hospitable to black people, but the thing is, they will maintain the system of anti-black racism. Because see, anti-black racism slash white supremacy is a systematic thing. It's baked into all of the institutions. So if they work at an insurance company and there's a claim that needs to be made for a black client, they're like, oops, denied. That's a part of the racism. If there's a white supremacist at a hospital harming black babies, they'll sit up here and put her on paid leave and then let her come back. That's systematic racism. You understand? So the supervisor might not yell at black folks, but they sit up here and let this type of stuff go on. That's where the racism comes in. That's the dangerous part of it. You see, that's the danger of racism. Speaking of fires, because we got these fires out here now. Um, these white firefighters back in the 50s and 60s, they used to sit up here and let black children burn up in homes. There was a brother who made a TikTok video. He said he went somewhere and it was an old white man. And sometimes these old white people, their conscience, it gets the best of them and they want to start confessing. And he had a conversation with this old white man, and the white man down there started crying and started confessing that when he was a fireman back in the 60s, this white man told this black man this. He was like, yeah, man. Uh, at the fire department, man, a lot of times we would deliberately let black children burn up in homes, man. We knew they were in there and we wouldn't even go rescue them, man. We would just sit up there and let them burn, and we would hear them screaming and we wouldn't even go in there and rescue them. And that was a common practice. This white man confessed this to this brother. You know? So that's systematic racism, letting shit like that go on. You're still a part of the problem by just letting it go on. You see? You help maintain that system. You have other people do your dirty work for you, and you just turn a blind eye to it. That makes you complicit. See, we got to understand how racism works. So just because somebody's being nice to you, they'll still go into a courtroom and say Daniel Penny was acting in self-defense. That's racism. Maybe you see. So we need to understand how the racism works.